This week on the show, we talk about the social use of cannabis, solve the problem of banking in the cannabis industry, and which country just designated an enormous piece of land for a new national park system. My name is Tim Stromble, and this is Rooted. Welcome on into the show. How would you like to be able to walk into a coffee shop or your local hangout and be legally allowed to whip out and use your vape pen or cannabis edible? Well, if you live in Denver, then you're just about to be able to do that. Recently, the Mile High City approved the country's first social cannabis license to The Coffee Joint, funny name, allowing vape pens to be smoked and edibles to be consumed at their location. The owners of the shop have ties to the dispensary next door, so it seems like a match made in heaven for the average cannabis enthusiast, right? Well, I'm not so sure. Let's find out if it's a good idea or a bad idea in this week's Two Sides. On one hand, this is amazing. A public place where you can hang out with your friends, meet new people, and enjoy your cannabis experience. I mean, it's basically a bar for cannabis, which seems to be a no-brainer considering how many people compare cannabis to alcohol. There's plenty of bars around the nation, so why shouldn't legal cannabis spots be a thing too, right? Plus, there's a dispensary right next door, so you can pick up whatever vape or edible products you like and head over to the coffee shop, get some food, grab some coffee, all while enjoying your cannabis products. You have to think this shop is going to kill it with food sales too, right? I mean, everyone in there is going to be so hungry. I tell you, put a food truck outside that thing, no one is ever going to leave. This sort of natural evolution of the cannabis space seems like it will create more cannabis tourism, right? I'd go check that out. And also continue to branch the mainstream culture in the area with the cannabis using experience, something that seems like a really positive outcome, and I think you gotta be all for it, right? I think so. On the other hand, you would have to be blind to not see all the ways this could blow up in our faces. First, cannabis is still federally legal, as you know, and now we're giving the federal government a location where a ton of people are basically going to be breaking federal law, and they can find them whenever they want. We're almost asking for something crazy to happen. Second, and I hate to say this, but people leave bars intoxicated all the time, and drunk driving accidents and DUIs happen all the time. But alcohol is legal, so the liquor industry never takes a hit. Since cannabis is still federally illegal and under such a microscope, any instance of irresponsibility is going to be magnetized 100% and used as propaganda against federal legalization. Now, I know the majority of you are very responsible out there and will use this responsibly, but we all know that one dumbass who's going to go out there and ruin it for everyone else. And I don't know if this industry could take that kind of a hit where it is right now. I mean, I guess if you look at it like that, it's got to be too early for something like this, and we should probably wait until federal legalization, right? Who knows? Anyways, what do you think? Time for you to weigh in now. Hit up our Facebook page and tell us if you think it's too early for social use of cannabis or it's right on time and I should just relax. Go ahead and share your comments. We'll share them in a future episode. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Now let's get to business. Of course, our business segment is brought to you by the good folks over at PR420. If you've got news, PR420 wants to help you share it. Hit them up at pressrelease420.com today to get started. This week on the show, I want to tell you about our first returning business feature of the week, and that's GreenBroz Inc. GreenBroz is a world leader in automated harvesting solutions for the cannabis industry, and a couple of weeks ago, we profiled the new GreenBroz Alchemist machine, which turns your trim into gold and another fantastic product for your business. This time around, GreenBroz is changing the game yet again, having just released the new GreenBroz Precision Batcher powered by Green Vault Systems. Now, have you ever bought flower from a dispensary and thought, man, this weight just doesn't look or feel right? Well, those issues are over if your dispensary or flower producer has a GreenBroz Precision Batcher, the most precise weighing and batching system in the cannabis industry today. With a weighing resolution down to 1/100th of a gram, you can be positive that you're getting exactly what you paid for in that bag. And unlike prior machines that have attempted to cross over from the food industry and into the cannabis space, the GreenBroz Precision Batcher was specifically designed for cannabis, using air cush technology and not vibration to foster an exponentially more gentle handling process, thus preserving trichomes and the integrity of the flower for you to enjoy. To learn more about GreenBroz, visit greenbroz.com or tune into the Rooted Podcast episode 50, which you can find on iTunes, SoundCloud, or stayrooted.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. This week on the Rooted Podcast, we talk to Nathaniel Gorian, CEO of FinCan, a cannabis banking financial network who is one of, if not the first, to offer cannabis-related businesses and ancillary companies that provide them goods and services with compliant, transparent, and bulletproof bank accounts and merchant processing services in all legal states. Now, there are a ton of misconceptions about banking in the cannabis space and how it can be done the right way, so I went and got Nathaniel because he's an expert on the subject and knows the banking industry as well, if not better, than the cannabis space. So he sets the record straight on the current state of banking in the cannabis industry and where it will be headed in the future. Here's a sneak peek.
You can judge on what people say or you can judge on what people do, okay? The federal government has basically left this industry alone, and particularly people who are doing their reasonable best to be compliant and to do proper reporting and to run their businesses above board. And in point of fact, both from a banking point of view and an operational point of view, the higher level of compliance that licensees are willing to incorporate into their business or banks, the much more sustainable their business is. In fact, it's almost directly proportional. If you go out and say, look, I'm not just going to do the minimum, I'm going to go ahead and report everything and be very transparent in my operations, that's the best proof of staying above the fray, both for a bank and for a licensee.
Don't forget to download and subscribe to the Rooted Podcast on iTunes or SoundCloud to get the latest episodes. And leave us a nice review if you like the show. We'd appreciate it. Lastly, before we get you out of here, we have to share our favorite thing this week, which comes to us from south of the equator in a town called Cochrane, Chile. Hope I'm saying that right. Where President Michelle Bachelet announced the creation of a vast national park system in Chile that would stretch over 10 million acres. The park is the brainchild of Christine McDivitt Tompkins and her husband Douglas Tompkins, who, by the way, founded the North Face and Esprit clothing companies, and starting in 1991, put $345 million into buying large areas of Patagonia. Mr. Tompkins died in a kayaking accident in Patagonia in 2015 at 75 years old. Crazy. 75, he's still kayaking. Anyways, but just months before that, he and his conservation group proposed a deal to the Chilean government that they would donate 1 million acres of their own preserved territory if the government would commit additional acres and designate a Patagonia National Park network. The Chilean government stepped up big time and contributed 9 million acres, way more than in the proposal, creating 5 new national parks and expanding an additional 3. The resulting 10 million acre Patagonia National Park system is more than 3 times the size of Yosemite and Yellowstone combined. It expands Chile's national park system by nearly 40%, enlarging the area of protection for pumas, condors, flamingos, and other endangered species as well. Now, as someone who considers himself an outdoorsman and lover of national parks, this has to be my favorite thing this week. Look at this. This is a picture of me on Mount Whitney in California after completing the 200-plus mile John Muir Trail just this last year. By the way, all these beautiful photos were taken by Meredith Kohut for the New York Times, so big thanks to Meredith. Her photos are outstanding, and I linked them in the show description down below, so you can go check those out. She does great work. Really go check those photos out. And a big thanks to Pascal Benefoy for the awesome article in the New York Times. You know, in times like these, with so much bad news circulating, it's awesome to read a report on a truly amazing and uplifting topic. I've also linked his article in the description as well, so you can check that out. That's going to do it for us on the show. Quick reminder to hit up the site stayrooted.com to check out more show content, like our social pages, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next week, I'm Tim Stromboll, reminding you to work hard, be humble, and stay rooted.